Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Today we got something a little different today. We have got a problem in the Beastie Room, and it's a rather big problem. Well, to be exact, we've got two big problems in the Beastie Room. Now, I thought this would be worth doing actually, just out of an interest thing, for a few reasons. First one being, this is going to be an unpopular problem for many people that have got their stuff outside. If you've got your spiders in a purpose-built shed, summer house or garage or something like that, you might well have the same similar problems as what we've got here, and that is in fact wasps. We have got two wasps' nests which have taken up residence in the Beastie Room. Now, one of them is actually in the soil pipe that runs through the roof. Now, you would have remembered we put them pipes in to be able to draw air out, and we put fans on them. Well, unfortunately, the vent came ajar at the back, and I didn't notice it until it was too late. I could hear this humming in the ceiling, and yeah, sure enough, they've actually built their nest inside that soil pipe. So that pipe is no longer working at all because it's completely full of wasp nest, and it's a big nest. It actually comes out, it goes all the way back to where the outlet is in the back of the shed, and it has filled up the entire pipe where our vent is, which means that that particular vent there is no longer usable. It doesn't work. Now, I have literally just tried to peel back that vent, and the wasps are there. They're right on it. The nest has been built right up to the actual vent, which is literally centimeters away from the room. Now, we have another nest which is in the eaves at the front, because some of that came away a little bit, and we've had a few problems with it, and so we've got to rectify it, but the wasps have moved in before we can do it. So the only thing that we can do now is to actually get the professionals out to come out and do it, and that is what they are going to do today. So I am now just finished work. It's midday, and I'm just waiting on them turning up, and hopefully we will be able to film what they do and how they get away with clearing these wasps out, because obviously any kind of powders, sprays or anything like that are going to be rather dangerous towards our spiders. So we need to have a good chat with our guy when he comes to see what our possibilities are and what we can get away with, you know, what we can do. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think the ones out the front in the eaves, they're going to be easy enough. They're going to not be a problem. But the ones that we've got here, these might be a problem because the vent is actually in the room. So I thought it would be an interesting thing to do, to cover it, see what they do, hopefully film it as well, and yeah, and basically I thought it'd be more interesting just along the fact that we will be using forms of poison in which to eradicate this wasp nest, and I thought we often get asked questions about people with aerosols, you know, because they keep their spider in their bedroom or something. So I thought it'd be an interesting thing, and we'll see how we get on and what we do. I'll now take you around to have a look so you can see where the wasps are getting in and where they are, and yeah, I'll tell you what. But first, what we're going to do, we are going to have a look at that top vent. We're not going to take it down because I've just had a little peek and there's wasps everywhere, and I don't really want to get stung. So what we're going to do, we're going to put my microphone up there, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the noise that's coming out of that vent. Well, let's have a little look. So here we are. There's our vent. That's our vent just there. Now, hopefully, if my camera stays put. Right, I am now going to put my microphone up, and hopefully it will pick up the noise. hopefully you got to hear that. I'm not sure, but hopefully our microphone would have picked that up. It's actually quite a noise going on in there. So what we're going to do now, we will go outside now and we'll have a little look and see where these are coming in, because this might be the last opportunity we get to see it before our guy turns up. So let's go and have a little look outside. It's a blazing hot day. We're up in the 30s again today. It is sweltering. Let's go and have a look. So here we are now. We're going to have a walk out here. We're going to stand on our bridge. And here we go. Whoop, makes me giddy. Right. And here you are. Now I put some fly papers out here to try and catch a few of them. And as you can see, they're coming in and out, and there's a good few of them. See them all coming in at the top there. They're very, very busy at the moment. And there's a lot of them. And as you can see, they're getting underneath the corrugated bits of the plastic. And it's causing problems. So that's the wasps that are in the eaves. So hopefully we can get that dealt with quite easily, because that's not actually inside the fabric of the building. So that's all right. It's on the outside. Let's go and have a look at the ones around the back. So what I'm going to do, we take a little walk down here. We also found a fox in the garden this morning. So we're going to go in here. Come round here. Oh, focus, that's it, that's it. Right, go down there. Right. What we're going to do, we are going to come underneath our aircon. Out the other side. Oh, that was my head. And here, this is where our ones are coming in. So these are the ones that are in the pipe. And as you can see, I put some more fly papers up there. They've done about as best as they're going to do. But you can see where it's come away. You can see the brown pipe where it's come away. And you can see by the volume of wasps coming through here, there's a lot of them. And this nest, I believe, is going to be the biggest one. You can see they're all carrying food back for the grubs. Now at this time of year, regular wasp traps don't work, because these wasps are hunting live prey, live insects and things like that, and they're feeding them to the grubs. Later on in the year, come around about sort of August, September time, most of the grubs and everything would have grown on and what have you, and these would then start be looking for sugary things to eat. At the moment, they're looking more for live prey. You can see where they're all clambering through. You can see them carrying stuff there as well. Really quite cool. You see that one's carrying stuff, you see? So they are very, very busy. There's not going to be a lot of room behind here for this guy to be able to work, so I'm not sure how he's going to get away with doing it. I've put a stone up there. You can see that stone. That is just holding the vent there at the moment. But I'm sure our man will pull that down. Yeah, not the best time to be knocking around with wasps' nest on one of the hottest days of the year. But he's a professional, so I'm sure he'll be okay. Right then, so let's go back out. We'll leave our wasps to it. I don't want to upset them. And hopefully we don't get them in anywhere else. As people have said before, you know, how do we get behind our shed? This is the access we got. So there's quite a lot of access through here, and we can cut the hedge and bits and pieces. So right, so let's go back the way we came. You can see our aircon here. So we're going to go underneath the aircon. Go back through. And back out. So we wasn't really reckoning on wasps, but there you go. Here we go. Right. Right then, let's go back in our room. Get us back up on the tripod. Right then, hopefully you'd have got to see a little bit of our problem. And I believe the nest that's in the back of the one, I think that is going to be quite an extensive, large nest. And the one in the front within the last week has been getting noisier and noisier. So I'm assuming that's actually gaining in size as well. So all we can do now is we're going to wait for our pest man to turn up, and then hopefully he won't mind us filming him, and we will get a chance to see what we're actually going to be able to do. All right, bear with us guys, this is going to be exciting, I am sure. Right, see you in a minute. So yeah,
the gear on.
Yeah, I ain't going to get too close because I've got,
especially this time of year.
They're going to, yeah, bloody hell, is that enough?
Yeah. Should be.
Braver man than me, I can tell you.
Right.
I tell you what, I deal with all them things, but these little buggers, hornets I don't mind.
Yeah, hornets just look worse. I think wasps are angrier.
Yeah. I've always found hornets to be quite placid.
Yeah, and you don't get as many of them in the nest either. So.
No. Alright, we'll see how fast two grown men can get out of this little gap in a little while. Alright. Luckily I can get it all from here. Oh, that's some old stuff, isn't it? Is that it?
That's it.
Bloody hell.
How are they looking?
They're alright. Yeah, they don't seem bad.
Once the ones that have been foraging come back, all of a sudden you'll see loads all around there.
Yeah, look, yeah, they're starting to build numbers now.
Yeah, they don't like it. They're trained like robots, basically, to go in and out and feed that larvae in there.
Yeah.
And obviously they're thinking, well, what's happened here?
So I take it that's got like a, must have like a smell to it or something that they can detect, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if they're coming out. There's a gap in there at the side there of the vent. Is that going to be right swimming in that gap? Where the pipe is?
You can try it, yeah. Yeah, you reckon they've gone down the side of the pipe?
I'm just wondering.
So it's all sealed on the inside, so it shouldn't be...
that should be alright for that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're behaving themselves, aren't they? Alright.
Let's see what the other one is. What happens to the other one?
Yeah, I'm going to stand out of the way of this one.
Close the door.
Yeah. Oh.
We're going to stand in the shade.
Yeah, I'm going to go over there out the bleeding way. Because I don't... So I'm a little nervous. It's funny, these seem more active than the other ones. Alright.
Should be it.
You reckon that'll do them?
Flowing out through those gaps, isn't it? Where you said it needs to be
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming out through the top, isn't it? Hopefully. I was expecting them to go a little bit ballistic, but they seem...
Yeah, it can vary. I mean, the one I went to before I came here, they were flying literally everywhere, all over the place when I did it.
Really?
Yeah. Others I've done probably higher than there, so I thought I don't need a...
Well, guys, it's been 24 hours now since we had the pest man out, and as you would have seen in the clips there, he's actually sprayed the powder in. So we were told to sort of leave them alone and give them 24 hours or so and see what they're doing. So we will now go and have a look outside and see what the score is really. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. We haven't seen much action out there, so let's go and have a little look now. We'll have a close up, see what's going on. Well, here we are outside. This is the nest that was on the front of the building. You can see the powder there. Now these are sticky fly traps that I put up there to try and catch some of the wasps. And as you can see, there is no more movement. There's no more wasps flying in and out. It's all good. What we have got, which is very interesting, is right on the end. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get a shot of this, but that there is a huge false widow. She is enormous. Let's see if I can get a bit of a closer look, see if we can't get a bit of an angle from her. There she is. Look at that. That is a huge false widow. Oh, she is monstrous. I'm not sure if the camera actually shows this up, but she is easily an inch. She is easily an inch. We'll have to deal with her as well. So, looks like that one's done. Let's have a look on the back. We'll see what's going on there. I'll go back down the side here. There we go. Right, we're going to actually go up and see the nest now. A few flies kicking about. You can see the powder down on the floor there. Here we are. Here now. As you can see, there's wasps all stuck on the sticky papers. So we can actually take them down now. Get rid of them. And we can see there now, there is no wasp activity at all. Absolutely none. So that is good. That would appear that our wasps have vacated. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take that. A bit dusty. Be a bit careful of this stuff because I think it is actually quite toxic. Yeah, there is nothing there at all now. So I think what we're going to do we're going to have a look inside, and I can remove the vent now and show you what it looks like, and we should hopefully see the nest, because before I could see the nest through the vent, but obviously every time we took the vent down the wasps came out, so we have to be a bit careful. So we're going to go back in the room. Dear me, I've got the stuff all over me. So we're going to put the camera back in the holder, back in the tripod. Now, as you can see there now, this is the vent. And as you can see, my spiders are directly underneath it. So I've got, as you can see, these are young blondies that we got here that we're growing on. So we're going to take these down out of the way, because if there's any powder residue up by this vent, the last thing we want is to get it anywhere near our spiders. So we're just going to move these out of the way. Must admit, they're absolutely loving this heat. Really enjoying the heat. It just comes back to what we were saying in the past, you know. These spiders do enjoy some warmth. Right, so we're going to get our plant out of the way. Now then, thingy dust all over myself. Right, so what we're going to do now, we've cleared that off. We're going to have a little look. So if I just, as you can probably imagine now, I'm actually working away on my own here. Right, so we're going to see this. So what I done was I taped this up with masking tape to try and stop anything coming into the room, because obviously, as you've seen there, this stuff is pretty toxic, and I mean, it's managed to wipe out that nest. There we go, look, there's no powder there at all, so that's really good news. I didn't really expect there to be any powder, because the nest is literally here. We can see it. So we'll just take these off here. And I'm hoping all the wasps are dead now. Otherwise, we might end up vacating this room rather sharpish. But I think they're all gone. So what we're going to do now, we are going to pull this down, and there is a nest literally just the other side of this. Couple of sleepy wasps there. There's one wasp there. Wow. Look at all of those. Oh, we're dropping grubs out everywhere. Right, let me just have a little look. Let me put this on here. Right. Let me just take this down here. Okay. Right then, here we go. Here we go. And look, that is the nest there. Isn't that just fantastic? And you can see all the wasps are up inside there. And you can see that they're actually dead. That is worked so fast. This wasp here is still alive. He's still alive. But it was interesting to see. Now here, look. See the grubs there? The grubs will now starve and they will die off. So there's a grub. But look at that beautiful thing. Oh, got a wasp landed on me. Look at them. I think we could possibly take a piece of that. So let's have a look at this. And look, this is where they'd actually put the base of the nest is now fused to the vent, and you can see all the grubs in there. See all them grubs. It's a shame that we had to do this, but yeah, it needed to be done. And there's all the grubs. So this nest will now be absolutely full of grubs, and it's a shame my pond weren't going, because fish would have loved these. So there you go. Quite the thing. And we've got, if I come over here now, you can see there's grubs falling out onto the carpet. Absolutely amazing. Now you've got to remember, this is a 6-inch soil pipe. What we're doing now, a little bugger off me, doesn't appear. There you go, look at that. Let me just put this over here. Now look, we have still got wasps in here. And you can see there, these are all full of grubs. Look at that. There's hundreds of them. This is a large, large nest. Very, very large. Look at that. Absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So what we will have to do now, for safety reasons, we will have to leave this now and just let it die off naturally, because we can see there the grubs are coming out. They're not happy in there at all. So they're all coming out. Still the odd wasp alive. Right. Fabulous stuff. Absolutely fabulous. Right then. Absolutely amazing. As we can see here, you can see the different layers and how intricate the nest actually is. The way they build it. And this is just paper. It's fabulous stuff. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right. Okay. So, let me get back round here. Okay. Well then, I think we can safely say that was a success. And like I say, it is a shame that we've had to, kill this nest. But unfortunately, it is something that's necessary. We couldn't have them breaking into the room through the vent. And it could have been quite dangerous as well. If they'd swarmed in the room or anything like that, we could have had serious, serious trouble. So they had to go, unfortunately. They do serve a purpose. We all know that wasps can be an absolute pain to us. This time of year, they don't bother us at all. And the reason being is because what happens is we get a number. Excuse me. All right, sweetheart. I love you too. See you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye. Right, it's been a bit of a shame to actually destroy this nest, but by the same token, we couldn't allow it to stay in, in the roof space. And same with the one at the front. We can't afford to have them in there. If they was to have broken out into the room and maybe even swarmed in the room, we would have had a real problem. It would have been really, really awkward. Very, could have been quite dangerous as well. And to be fair, this time of year, wasps aren't really that much of a problem to us if we leave them alone. As long as we leave them alone, they're all right. So what's happening now? This time of year, we're in the beginning of July. So these guys have been building quite heavily for the past 6 weeks or so. And what happens is we get a number of queen wasps will come out of a nest near the end of the year. And basically they go off and they hibernate for the winter. So quite often, if you ever find in your shed a tiny, tiny little like acorn shaped nest, it's a wasp nest, but you don't always imagine that it's actually these yellow jacket wasps. You often sometimes think it's a wood wasp or something like that, but they are in fact these yellow jacket wasps, which and that will be a queen, and she will go away and she will hibernate, and then what she does is she will lay maybe half a dozen to a dozen pupa eggs into that nest, and she will look after them throughout the winter. And then when spring comes, they then vacate, they go off, and then they don't go off, they will actually build a nest from that, and they will actually then increase it and make a larger nest. And basically, as the pupa grow, it produces workers, which are females. They then work, I believe they're females. They then hatch, they fly, and then they then come back and they feed the next lot of pupa, which then hatch, they come back and they feed the next lot. Now, I've been told that the worker wasps only live for around about 3 weeks. So they're busy. Now, this time of year, while the nest is growing, all they're doing is expanding. The empire is expanding. And at this time of year, what they're feeding on is live food. Things like aphids, flies, little spiders, ants, whatever they can catch. They bring that back and they feed that to the pupa. The pupa, in turn, secrete a little piece of sugary fluid, which then feeds our worker wasp. This is why you'll find this time of year, you can go to the pub, sit in the garden, you don't get hassled by wasps. What does happen is later on, around about August time, end of August, September, most of the pupa have all hatched and everything else. And now the wasps are feeding, they want that sugary substance, and this is why they hang around your beer and your fruit salads and your barbecues and stuff like that. They're after that, and that's when they become a bit of a nuisance towards us, because they'll quite happily sting you and disappear and carry on their day. So and don't forget, wasps, unlike bees, wasps are capable of multiple stings without causing any harm to them at all. So that's when they become a bit of a nuisance. But at this time of year, they're not too bad. The last thing we needed, though, was to have them loose in our room. That would have caused us some serious problems. So that is them dealt with. We can now seal up any little tiny cracks and holes that we find around the building now, before we end up getting this problem again. But what a fascinating thing. They really are quite superb. And it is a bit of a shame, but there you go. Right then. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a little bit different, but I thought it was important, because we often get questions and people worried about what kind of toxins are safe, especially around the home. So if you're in the house and your spiders are in the living room, and for argument's sake, you're doing the housework or whatever, and you spray a bit of air freshener around, is it going to kill my spider? Normally, under normal circumstances, it's not really going to bother your spider. Unless you spray it directly onto your spider, it shouldn't really be much of an issue. The same with aerosols, things like the smelly sticks, I forget what they call them, all these sorts of things, the scented sticks, all these sort of things should not bother you. Even things like scented candles, stuff like that. it shouldn't really affect your spiders, provided it's not directly on top of it. You know, as long as it's got some room to move around and a bit of fresh air, it should be fine. Now, when we done these wasps, you saw Derek, the guy who's put all the stuff in, he sprayed that powder up. That took within probably, I would say, maybe 4 hours, and we had no activity outside the nests. All wasps had gone. So they've either gone in and died inside the nest, or they've actually come out, flown off and died, you know, where they're covered in the powder. So that being said, that shows it is a very, very toxic powder. Very, very toxic. But as you can see, my spiders are safe. And that is the key. That was the one thing I was worried about, was the toxins getting into my room. Now, we took a little chance, but I knew, because I'd had a look, I knew that the nest was right over the vent. So I was pretty sure I wasn't going to get anything come through the vent. I still taped it up with masking tape just to be safe. You know, it's always best to take precaution. But it worked out. So if anyone else has that sort of problem with wasps and things like that, you know, maybe you can take a few tips and hints from this video, and you'll be able to deal with your problem as well. There's no reason. A lot of stuff is very, very overthought. People worry a little bit too much. Our spiders are really, really good at surviving. And, you know, as long as we're sensible, they can take on quite a lot of abuse. But yeah, we were good here. We were lucky. This all worked out really, really well. I'm very pleased. Right then, I hope you enjoyed that, and something a little bit different. Don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I'll see you all soon, guys.